Battle of Wilno, 1939. The Battle of Wilno was fought by the Polish army against the Soviet invasion of Poland in 1939, which accompanied the German invasion of Poland in accordance with Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact 82. On 18-19 September, Soviet forces took over the city of Wilno. Polish forces, concentrated in the west, were relatively weak in the east. The Polish commanders, unsure whether to actively oppose the Soviet entry into Poland, did not use the full defensive capabilities of the town and nearby fortifications, although the outcome of the battle would not have been likely any different, given the overwhelming Soviet numerical superiority. Wilno, the capital of the Wilno Voivodeship, was an important industrial center in the northeastern part of Poland and the sixth largest city in that country at the time. Administratively a part of the Grodno-based 3 military corps area and under Joseph Olszynowilczynski, it was also an important garrison and mobilization center. In the pre-war period, the city housed the entire Polish 1st Legion's infantry division, as well as the headquarters and the 4th Ulan Regiment of the Wileńska Cavalry Brigade. Air cover was provided by the majority of the Polish 5th Air Regiment stationed at the nearby airfield of Porąbek. In addition, the city of Wilno was a mobilization center for the Polish 35th Infantry Division. Before the outbreak of war, the 1st Division had been secretly mobilized and sent towards Ryazan in northern Mazovia. The Wileńska Cavalry Brigade soon followed and in the first days of September 1939 left the city for Piotr Tribunalski. The air assets were attached to the Modlin Army and the Nero Group fighting against the German units trying to break through from East Prussia. By September 7 the 35th Division was fully mobilized and transported to Lvov. The city was left defenseless. The military commander of the city, Colonel Yaroslaw Okolich-Kozyrin, decided that in case of attack by German or Soviet forces, he had insufficient forces for a successful defense and thus his task could only be to allow civilians to evacuate to neutral Lithuania. On September 17, the city had 14,000 soldiers and militia volunteers, but only 6,500 of them were armed. Before the battle, the numbers of armed soldiers rose slightly as some disorganized units trickled in, but the number of unarmed volunteers decreased, as Okolich-Kozyrin ordered unarmed volunteers not to participate in any hostilities. Before the Soviets arrived, the Polish forces formed about 10 infantry battalions, supported by approximately 15 light artillery and anti-tank guns and about 5 anti-aircraft guns. The defenders also had some 40 machine guns. On September 18, the commander of the Belarusian front, Komendarm, Mikhail Kovalyov, ordered the capture of Wilno by groups of the 3rd and 11th Armies. The 3rd Army delegated the 24th Cavalry Division and the 22nd and 25th Armored Divisions under Komrig, Piotr Okliastin, to advance from the northeast and the 11th Army delegated the 36th Cavalry Division and the 6th Armored Division under Komrig Semyon Zibin to advance from the southeast. Their task was to secure the city by the evening of September 18, but due to logistical difficulties and the overestimation of the Polish defenses, the operation was revised with the aim of securing the city by the morning of September 19. On September 18, at around 1700 hours, Okolich-Kozyrin received reports of Soviet forces approaching from Osmiana. They consisted of armored scouts which had engaged Polish infantry units on their approach. Okolich-Kozyrin then ordered all units to fall back toward the Lithuanian border. Korpus Ochrony Pograniza units, as the most experienced, were to screen the withdrawal. Podpolkownik Podwysocki was dispatched to inform the Soviets that Polish forces did not intend to defend Wilno, but he was shot at and returned to the Polish lines. As Okolich-Kozyrin had already left the city, Podwysocki decided to defend it, even though most of the forces previously in the city had left with Okolich-Kozyrin. The first Soviet attack on the evening of the September 18 was repulsed by the Polish defenders. Subsequently the Soviets continued to push into Wilno. By the end of the day the Soviets had secured the airfield and made several thrusts into the city, taking the Rossos cemetery. By the morning of September 19 the advanced Soviet armored units had been reinforced with infantry and cavalry. The Polish defenders delayed the Soviet advance, particularly by holding the bridges, but later that day the poorly coordinated Polish defense collapsed and the Soviets took control of the city. Polish units had either surrendered, or withdrawn, disorganized, towards the Lithuanian border or deeper into Poland. The Soviets transferred Wilno to Lithuania according to the Soviet-Lithuanian Mutual Assistance Treaty. Lithuanian troops entered the city on 27–28 October. The defense of Wilno has been criticized by some Polish historians, who point out that if properly organized, the Polish forces would have been able to hold on to Wilno and delay the Soviets by several days, similar to the defense of Grodno. Nonetheless, this could have only been a symbolic defense, as the Polish forces had no real way of stopping the overwhelming Soviet advance.